Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Morin, and today we are going to be reading Book 2 of the Skippyjon Jones series, Skippyjon Jones! Now, as I've stated in episode 3, which was Skippyjon Jones and the Doghouse, this was a big part of my childhood. But it was only after I had made the Skippyjon Jones and the Doghouse video that I had learned that it was a series of challenged books. Now, a challenged book basically is there's something in it that would be offensive to someone, but it's not really banned. It can still be found in any store, but parents need to be cautious of what their children are reading before they pick it up. In this case, this series of children's books, since Skippyjon Jones interacts with chihuahuas, would contain stereotypical depictions of Mexicans. Okay. If you or your parents have any trouble with it, with my voices or with my reading of the story, I apologize for it. And if YouTube recommends that I take it down and replace it with something else, I will gladly do so. But for now, let's just get into Skippyjon Jones! Every morning, Skippyjon Jones woke up with the birds. Where do you think Skippyjon Jones is? Yeah, he's in that nest. See the ears? Oh, how'd he get up there? That's what I want to know. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath." See Skippy? He thinks he's a bird. Do you think eating earthworms would be good for Skippy? I can imagine it wouldn't be. Wouldn't be good for him. And that's Mama Junebug. She's quite big. She's quite big and he's pretty small. Now what Mama Junebug's doing is basically getting a cat to a safer place. He's not really hurt because the mother will pick up the baby by the scruff of its neck. There's no real nerve endings there. It's just fat. So the little kitten or little cub won't be in any danger if the mother picks it up like that. So, in case you have any mama cats at home, the lecture went on and on, as usual. "You've got some serious thinking to do before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat. Not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse, not a moose, or a goose, not a rat, or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. Now, what you might notice about Skippyjon's room is that it kind of looks a bit different. I like to think that he cleaned up his room a bit, or his mom told him to clean it up. And as you can see from on the left side, there are sisters. Silly kitties playing in the fish tank. Now, what do you think? Based on what we had learned last time, is he going to think about being a Siamese cat? Or is he going to think Chihuahua? Let's find out. But once he was alone, Skippyjon Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I bounce on my bed. and once or 6 times I land on my head. On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippyjon Jones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippyjon Jones. "What was that?" Once again, he's bouncing. Can you see him? Let's hope he doesn't land into a pile of stuffed animals this time. He's coming back down, and he sees something. What do you think he saw? Is he scared of his own reflection? Or did he see something else? So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippyjon Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippyjon Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. Now, at the end of the song, there is a little clap clap you need to do. So, join in. My name is Skippito Fresquito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes indeedo. Ooh, that's a pretty realistic Chihuahua head. I'd be pretty scared of that too, if I were him. And that's Skippyjon Jones. At least he learned to wear a mask this time. Back in the kitchen, Judy, Jezebel, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon come out of his room now?" asked Judy. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. Oh, so yet again, he's disobeying his mama. Look at him go, though. I think he'd make a pretty good bandito, don't you think? I'm gonna guess that's Juju. That's Juju, because she's the one that asked if Skippyjon can come out of his room, and she's got that little paw position where we'll be good. Oh, I feel for the poor little kitty right there. He's got a bun in his face. Do you see it? Got a little burger. A little fish burger. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay caramba! Who goes there?" asked Skippyjon Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I am El Skippito, the great sword fighter," said Skippyjon Jones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "¿Dónde vas, Tito, dude?" asked Pochito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skippito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintolito. "See, I love mice and beans," said Skippito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." So I guess he's meeting those Chimichangos for the first time. Can you see them? They are a very mysterious band of Chihuahuas. I wonder how I met them originally. Kind of makes you think, you know. Leaning toward Don Diego, El Skippito half sneezed, half half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. Chupichu! Bless you, said Don Diego. Gracias, said Skippito. Then it is true, decreed Don Diego. Yippee, yippito. It's the end of Alfredo Pasito. Skippito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad bumbalito. Then all the Chimichangos went crazy loco. I don't think it's best if you sneezed into his ear. Don't be like Skippyjon, kids. Not in this day and age. And these are the Chimichangos. They're dancing. First, they had a fiesta. Then, they took a siesta. A fiesta, in Spanish, means party. So, here are the Chihuahuas and Skippito having a party. It's really fun. I kind of want to go there. A siesta is basically a time period, I think around 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, where people would take a nap before dinner. That's what a siesta is. But after waking up, the Chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumblebito for Skippito to see. A hush grew over the Chimichangos so great that one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Pasito, whispered the crowd. El blimbo Bumblebito Bandito. See, said Poquito, the bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skippito outraged. See, Poquito continued. Red beans and black beans, must make them blue. Cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto and chili too. And now he comes for us, Poquito added. ¿Por qué? asked Skippito. Because we are full of the beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? asked Skippito. The dog just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? asked Skippito. Then all the Chimichangos turned toward Skippito, the great sword fighter. I don't think Skippito has a lot of experience defeating bad guys. This is Alfredo Pasito. You see it? Looks pretty mean, huh? What do you think Skippyjon's gonna do? Does he have a plan? But poor Skippito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The Chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skippito, or it is you the bandito abuelito, they cried. Skippito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then in a muy soft voice he said, My name is Skippito Fresquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Pasito flew straight for Skippito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Holy frijoles! cried Skippito as he thrust his sword in the air. Ooh. It was very intimidating. What do you think is going to happen to the Bumblebito now that Skippito had thrust a sword into him? Suddenly, went the bandito, landing on Skippito's sword, and quicker than one could say, Chihuahua's cheese and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Pasito. the Bumblebeetle Bandito. Ooh, so Bumblebeetle is full of beans. So, what do you think Alfredo Bazito is really? You think he's a piñata? A jack-o'-lantern? A little candy jar? Let's find out. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yip, yippee, yippito. Our hero is El Skippito. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans. And now we can make our burritos. All the doggies are celebrating. Yay! That's the end of Alfredo Bazito, at least. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippyjon's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Banquito! Crushito! Papito! Skippito! Just in time to see Skippyjon's closet exploding. Oh, so do you think Skippyjon Jones's adventures inside his closet are real? No, I think Skippyjon just has a very active imagination. Don't you think so? Then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. Skippyjon Jones! Everyone cried. Hola, muchachitas, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippyjon and covered his head in furry purry kisses. Oh, what am I going to do with you, Mr. Cucklepugs? She scolded. Aww, this is so cute. So, Alfredo Bazito was the piñata, and all of those Chimichangos are little beanbag dogs. So, I think Skippyjon has a really active imagination. And look at the kitties. They're all snuggled. All snuggled up in Mama Junebug's pouch. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippyjon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce in my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippyjon Jones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said Skippyjon Jones. And buenas noches to you all, and thank you so much for joining me on this Bedtime Stories episode. If you want, please like and subscribe to my channel to get more stories being read to you and your children, and as well as updates to my schedule. Next week will be a story from Pinocchio, in celebration of the movie being another live-action remake by Disney. But really, what can we expect from them at this point? So, until next week, see you later!